they don't have to give up that pick in the trade. So, I mean, they're
TJ Watt and 21 for Purdy. Who says no?
I don't know how the 49ers say no to that.
Kevin Clark, Damian Woody, Courtney Cronin. All right, Kevin, let's start with you. Should the Steelers try to get Brock Purdy?
No. Full stop. But I'll expand. No, I mean, I just don't think, first of all, I don't think this solves either team's problem. TJ Watt is your best player in Pittsburgh. I think that he has the most value there. San Francisco isn't going to want to pay huge money to another guy over 30. And then I don't think Brock Purdy is that big of an upgrade over some of the other guys that might be available. Aaron Rodgers can still give you something with less, not a $60 million mega contract behind it. For me, this doesn't make sense. I think both teams say no, Courtney.
Yeah. I just need to hear why. Do you guys have a quota for how many times you have to talk about Brock Purdy on Unsportsmanlike a day? I think the world needs to know that. Why was this specific example brought up?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Courtney. Okay, so let's connect dots for a second.
Yeah?
Adam Schefter comes on our show on Unsportsmanlike 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and says that the deal between Brock Purdy and the Niners will not get done as of right now before the draft. Okay? TJ Watt does the peace out Instagram post, which we're all going to read into. He makes $21 million this year. It's the final year of his deal. Okay? The Pittsburgh Steelers have been in QB purgatory for the last 3 years. They have done an awful job at finding a quarterback. And because Mike Tomlin is too good to get them bad enough to get great, meaning they will never finish with a top 5 pick in the draft to get a franchise quarterback, they are going to live in purgatory. You're giving me a look. Why the look?
Because, you put out a tweet this morning and said, the 16th best quarterback in the NFL is more valuable than any great defensive player. No, he's not. What championship can you win with the 16th best quarterback in the NFL? Can you give me an example of what you can get to? Maybe you can get to. And Brock Purdy,
he's way higher than 16.
Brock Purdy somewhere else is not the Brock Purdy that he was in San Francisco. I firmly believe that. He wouldn't have nearly as good of weapons around him. I think that that's a completely different style of offense.
You can apply that to anyone.
He'd be running with Arthur Smith versus with Kyle Shanahan. I don't see it that way. But there's also a fight. You go and trade TJ Watt. Floor is $40 million. We know that. $40 million because of Myles Garrett and what he got in Cleveland. You trade TJ Watt to the San Francisco 49ers, who had to start getting rid of guys because they couldn't pay everybody. So they're going to pay him, and then you're going to be paying Brock Purdy. What does he want? 55, $60 million? You're comfortable doing that?
Oh, I'm fine not trading TJ Watt to the Niners. I'll take picks because the reality, yes, let's go back to what I said. An average quarterback in this league is significantly more valuable than a top 5 defensive player. It's not close. Do you know that Brock Purdy has double the amount of playoff wins than TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, and Myles Garrett combined? Everyone says football is a team sport. No, it's not. It only becomes a team sport.
Is Kyle Shanahan coming? Did I miss the trade? Is Kyle Shanahan coming?
Mike Tomlin, who is significantly better than Kyle Shanahan.
But he's not going to have him in the offense. That's Arthur Smith's offense.
Mike Tomlin gets to the playoffs and has a winning record every year with no offense. And now, even if you guys hate Brock Purdy, he's still significantly better. You give me Brock Purdy and Mike Tomlin, where do I sign up? I'd pay him $60 million if I'm Pittsburgh.
Oh, my God.
Courtney, you cover the Bears for how long?
This will be my 4th season.
Yeah, and how are they? Good team?
Team on the rise.
Why? Because they now have a team.
Because they have a quarterback.
Damian Woody, you played forever in the NFL on the offensive line. Where are you on this TJ Watt debate with Brock Purdy here?
Guys, what are we talking about here? You're talking about the 49ers, the 49ers trading away Brock Purdy? Listen, I think just hearing this, it's disrespectful to Brock Purdy, to be honest with you. Brock Purdy is what I call a tier 2 quarterback. He's not in the tier 1 with the Joe Burrows and the Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. But he's right there. He's a guy that you can win a championship with. In this league. There's no question about it. Do those guys grow on trees?
Nope.
I'm just asking, do those type of quarterbacks grow on trees? They do not. They do not. Why in the world would the San Francisco 49ers, who, by the way, has been unloading guys off their roster because they know they have to pay the quarterback, why would you make that trade? It makes absolutely no sense. And, oh, by the way, for anyone who says Kyle Shanahan, he can go out here and plug and play any quarterback. We saw that with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think everyone on this panel would say that Brock Purdy is significantly better than Jimmy Garoppolo. So I think from all of this, we got to stop disrespecting Brock Purdy because he's a top 10 quarterback in this league.
Bravo.
I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but I don't mean to disrespect him. But to your point, D. Wood, above average quarterback play, is that not what the Steelers had last year? They're 10-6. They made the postseason with Russell Wilson. They right now are in line to draft a quarterback at 21. Maybe Aaron Rodgers goes there. They don't really need much more at quarterback to be able to still be a competitive team. You've got to keep that defense intact. Why would you possibly get rid of T.J. Watt in the process? That screws up the whole plan.
Yeah, you can't do that with his 0 playoff wins, and they've lost 6 playoff games in a row.
The reason they stayed competitive this season when they started losing those 5 games at the end of the year is because their defense kept them.
Their defense has never been bad under Mike Tomlin. You think it's
so? Why would you get rid of the best player on their the team?
Because they don't have a quarterback, thus they don't have a team.
All right, a couple things. Number one, Russell Wilson was not above average last year. He was average at best for most of the season.
Above average moments. It was
sure.
It
Okay.
was not consistently
Don't we all have
bad
above
play.
average moments?
I don't know.
For me, first of all, the simplest thing here is they're going to pay T.J. Watt. He's going to stay there and be a Pittsburgh legend forever. Okay. I learned this from the Myles Garrett thing a couple weeks ago, where he said it's not financial. Of course, it's about where to go. And guess what? It was financial. Everything is financial. If any of us were told you can get $45 million a year if you unfollow your team on Instagram and post a peace sign story, we would sign up for that. That's all this is. It's a financial negotiation. We know the playbook by now. This is not about forcing a trade to San Francisco or anyplace else. He wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He already did that. Remember that story about the weight room last contract extension where he came in and said, let's get this deal done? He's going to do it again. This is financial. This is not about committing to a quarterback situation. TJ Watt wants to be a Steeler. A trade at this point. By the way, Trey Hendrickson, who's one of the best pass rushers in football, is available. He's been trying to seek a trade for a month. Nobody wants him because he's 30 years old and he's expensive. That trade market is not as robust as maybe we think here at this table.
Damian?
Yeah, listen, I just think that this is bad all the way around. I'm not trading, as great as T.J. Watt is, I'm not trading for a pass rusher who's 30-plus, who's on the what I call the back nine of his career, for a quarterback. Again, I want to say, is a top 10 quarterback. You don't trade away top 10 quarterbacks in this league, period.
100% agree. Damian could not be more right. See, to me, very simply, the moment anyone brings up Brock Purdy theoretically could be available, if you don't have a quarterback, you should blow the Niners away for an offer. And you both are suggesting, no, you should not. There's nothing on the Pittsburgh Steelers except for Mike Tomlin I would not give up for Brock Purdy. That's how great this guy could be. I totally agree with Damian. And the Niners should get the deal done immediately. Immediately. Give him what he wants. He's awesome. Get your popcorn ready because the West playoffs are about to be cinema in the NBA. Who's the team no one wants to face? That answer will shock you.
Xin chào các bạn, tôi đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Vòng hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cánh rừng. Mọi người, hôm nay vòng của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là vườn hoa. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu đấy nhé. Dù em có phải chờ, em có phải tên đeo vì tham khảo mẫu váy dài để hôm nào mặc đi ăn cỗ này. Thôi. Và cái như hôm chị mặc ấy. Hôm chị mặc là cái